Hello friends, welcome to YouTube channel. I'm Dr. P.R. Patel, Professor Head Veterinary Medicine. We have already seen the babesiosis part 1. Today we will see babesiosis part 2. In this we will see three important things: life cycle, epidemiology and pathogenesis of babesiosis. Babesiosis, it is a protozoal disease. In this slide we will see the life cycle of Babesia, that means life cycle of tick also. The total life cycle occur in two hosts, one in life cycle in invertebrate host, that is tick, and other is the life cycle in vertebrate host, that is cattle, sheep, goat and our domestic animals. First we will see the life cycle in invertebrate host, ticks. The tick larva, nymph and adult, they feed, molt and mate on one animal host, that is our domestic animal. For this one host tick sequence on animal, it takes at least 20 to 25 days. There is ingestion of infected erythrocyte by the ticks. Those are on animal and animal is infected. So erythrocytes are also infected. It is taken up by ticks. Then in the tick, the RBC, which pyroplasm babesia reach to the gut. There is a multiple fission of parasite in the gut of tick. Then there is liberation of babesia organism in the lumen of the gut. From the gut, the organism protozoa reach the hemolymph of the tick. From this, the protozoa migrate to the ovary, reach to egg, then reach to the nymph stage. And in this, there is development of effective Babesia protozoa. This Babesia enter the salivary gland of the nymph. There is formation of pyriform sporozoites. Then engorged female ticks, after taking blood, they drop on the ground and lay eggs and produce six-legged larvae. This is the life cycle in ticks invertebrate host. Now see life cycle in the vertebrate host. The infected tick bites the healthy animal. In that there is liberation of infective sporozoites from the salivary gland. Protozoa multiply in RBCs, formation of tropozoites, merozoites. Then rupture of RBCs. There is a liberation of merozoites in the circulation, and these merozoites infects the other RBC. There is tick bite pick up the infection, and thus there is transmission of Babesia organism to other healthy animals. Thus these things are continuously going on and there is spread of the disease. Here we will study some of the aspect of epidemiology. Babesiosis is economically important disease because when disease is there, there is a cost of treatment, cost of prevention, cost of control measures, reduction in milk production in diseased animal, pregnant animal aborts, and mortality. And this causes economic losses. The babesiosis is present worldwide in almost all countries. The disease is governed by the tick population. As generally, the tick prefers tropical and subtropical environment, and those countries which have such environment. What is the environment? The ticks are more prevalent in hot and humid areas where there is moderate to high rainfall that causes hot humid climate that favors the development and multiplication of the tick. In the season wise, the greatest incidents occur soon after the peak of tick population, and tick population varies with hot temperature, humidity, and rainfall. Sometimes enzootic instability occurs and there is outbreak, and this is observed when there is sudden increase in the tick population due to favorable climatic conditions that leads to more population of the ticks and outbreaks occurs. There is a worldwide distribution, but more incidences are in Asia, Australia, Africa, and South America. In these countries, there is hot, humid climate and more tick population. The exotic breeds are highly susceptible. Those breeds which are in cold countries, there is no babesia there, so they are highly susceptible. When they bring to these countries, tropical, subtropical countries, they suffer from the disease. And that is one of the important step or important point for the failure of crossbreeding program. Disease generally occurs sporadically in exotic areas and treated very easily and successfully. So comparatively, the mortality is very less in exotic areas. In babesiosis, the preimmunity is observed. The cattle are immune to reinfection due to exposure to continuing low-grade infection. Continued low-grade infection gives continuous immunity, and when there is real infection, these cattle are immune. This phenomenon is called as preimmunity. There are many risk factors. The commonest are stress of parturition, starvation, etc. Breakdown of immunity is also observed when there is other superimposed infection with anaplasma, foot and mouth disease in cattle, and canine distemper in dog. Pathogenesis is very important. Part of the pathogenesis we already studied in earlier slides. Pathogenesis helps in understanding the clinical findings and diagnosis and the treatment of the disease. Babesia are highly pathogenic and the death rate is observed higher in adults. There is intravascular hemolysis is the principal pathogenic effect. And this intravascular hemolysis is due to multiplication of Babesia in peripheral and visceral red blood cells. This results profound anemia, an anemia of hypochromic normochromic type of anemia. Due to rupture of RBC, release of hemoglobin, on metabolism of hemoglobin, there is production of bile pigment and this produces a jaundice. There is hemoglobinemia and finally there is hemoglobinuria. Death is observed in the animal. Mainly there are 5 reasons. One reason is destruction of RBCs by autoantibody mechanism. Second, failure to meet the blood loss. Third, cerebral anoxia. This is an important feature. And there is cerebral babesiosis. Fourth reason, accumulation of toxic byproducts. And fifth reason is anemic anoxia. Due to anemia, there are ischemic changes in skeletal and cardiac muscles. The hematology shows severe anemia and neutrophilia. The biochemical changes are reduction in calcium, phosphorus, total serum protein level, and there is rise in blood glucose, total serum bilirubin, and SGOT in liver damage. Friends requested to share this video to our veterinary friends, requested to subscribe, to support and to promote the channel. Thank you very much for observing this video. Next time we'll come with babesiosis part 3. In that we will study the clinical findings and diagnosis. Thanks.